Hi YouTube. Wait, pause. Hi YouTube. Heart emoji. Himiko's update is literally around the corner, and I'm fearing for my life because my girl could either possibly be fine or everything's gonna come crashing down. But they dropped an improv trailer, so that means we can go ahead and watch it. I am a little nervous though. Not because like I think something's gonna happen to Himiko. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think that's gonna happen. But more of I'm nervous of how this is gonna affect the story, if anything. But without further ado, let us go ahead and watch, shall we?
When I was young, I also imagined my future self.
This is the Imagenesis homework for today. Remember to submit it on time.
Imagined? What about now? The countdown for every member of the Murata family begins at birth. No exceptions.
And so I have no future.
Himeko, it's fine if you don't submit this.
Everyone
Don't push
carefully
yourself so
avoids talking about the future with me.
comes to your condition.
Excuse
False
me?
hope only drives one into deeper despair. I'm well aware.
Himeko, what am I?
You?
I'm nothing.
Looking back now, you really were rude. Back then, I was just... No, I'm sorry.
But you've already found something you want to paint, haven't you? Pagana, the homeland of the Eon of Trailblaze.
And the Astral Express, which set forth from there and connects all worlds. The nameless gather like meteors. They were once a crew, and they were once accompanied by a star-chasing giant.
Giant? The one you keep painting?
Yeah, I've named it Starblazer. But after Akivili's fall, their followers left one after another, and only the navigator and one other passenger were left on the express.
Just two of them? Sounds lonely.
But they never gave up on the express. All to extend the silver rail of trailblazing deep into the stars.
Just like how we're repairing the express right now.
Yeah, they were on board this very train, traversing countless galaxies, persisting on their journey without the blessings of any eon.
It exploded again.
But when the young man named Falcon appeared, he rallied the people to clear the obstructed silver rail and reignite the trailblaze once more.
Do you aspire to become a hero like Falcon?
No, my dream is the same as those two travelers. From the day they witnessed the fall of the trailblaze and the dimming of the star rail. From the day the weathering curse consumed my whole body and I stumbled upon the crashed express. We've been pursuing a faint miracle. In the records, they passed the trailblazing spark to Falcon to illuminate the stars once more. But can I really get the express to set forth anew? Can I have a future like that?
Jesus, Himiko.
I never expected answers from anyone. False hope only drives one into deeper despair.
Himeko, it's fine if you don't submit this. Don't push yourself. Comes to your condition.
But the express still won't start up.
The fact you can hear her
This silent
crying.
darkness. I guess it's my final stop. But I still find it hard to accept. Himeko. You'll definitely become a navigator.
Oh.
Just like me right now.
Man. Hold on, there's a bit of time left. Hold on.
Let's join the Phantasmoon Games and make a wish to the omnipotent laughter.
In the time we have left, roll the dice one more time.
Oh.
You can take my place.
Oh. Hope is not false if it drives you forward. and gives you a reason to keep going. That's why it's called hope. There's such thing as a false hope. Yeah. I think a lot of people may not realize, like, in situations of Himeko, where, like, imagine you're getting told to do these projects. All your classmates have it. The fact that everyone around her just told her, it's fine, you don't have to do these projects, or it's fine, you don't have to think about these things. It really makes someone feel very alienated from everyone else around them, and it can really affect them negatively. Imagine growing up in all your life, be it for whatever reason, everyone around you just tells you you don't have anything to really look forward to in the future. And even though you try to go against it again and again, and being told constantly again and again, there's nothing for you in the future, it's fine. Not even just by like the peers around you, but especially those who are supposed to be your mentor and stuff. Even if it's true, it can be really degrading to you as an individual, because it's like you're still trying to give it 100%, but everyone around you is telling you that don't worry for it. You don't need to worry for it. You don't have a future going for you. So to the extent of like this was the one thing she really really looked into and had like the sense of hope for. I know a lot of people are like, well, that seems like a pretty intense hope, even though like it seemed like not gonna be likely to happen. Sometimes even the smallest things in lives can really push someone to be like, I should try to still give it my best efforts despite everything that is against me. I don't think a lot of people realize, like, I know some people can be like, well, it's so dramatic or whatever, but it's like, no, it really does help out a ton. Like, to some people, even being told by one person, I know you're gonna go far, really does help push them to go that extra length. That's why, like, even if someone's, like, happy over a small thing, or even a big thing, it's important to acknowledge that happiness rather than to bring them down, because it can really help them out. I'm worried that Hoyo will throw us at a story, and how much I'm gonna cry. I don't know about that. I mean, for this right here, having her find the express, try to fix it, and then it not working, and she's talking, but you can hear in the background she's crying.
The express still won't start up.
Is like so heartbreaking, not because like it's hopeless, but because of like you can hear how much she put into it. I want to give her a hug. No, me too. Himiko's story is something that I hope we can get more clarification for as we play. But I think in a sort of way, I feel like a lot of people kind of push aside of her own struggles because they see current Himeko, who is the successful navigator, who's been through it all already and has already succeeded on being the navigator for the Express. And in a sort of way, how do I say this? I want to make sure I say this correctly. I worry instead that Hoyo's gonna give us Himiko's backstory, more details, more explanation about her and her character, right? And instead, I worry people are going to just be like, oh, it's just a tragic backstory, who cares? But I feel like a lot of people don't realize this, especially for like Himeko, but also just people in general. When people themselves talk about things they've gone through in the past, sorry, my mistake there. It's important for them to be for this to be acknowledged, because it can really help push not just themselves but other people who can find themselves maybe in the exact same situation or in similar situations, because it helps push people to realize that it's not just like you're alone in that situation, but there's also that small slimmer of hope. Because sometimes just that one little story can help push someone to go to the extra lengths they want to for the thing they wish to achieve. And I think for Himeko, the fact she's a navigator and the fact that we finally are getting to this part of the story about her, now we get to see like how much this has helped her out. Because believe it or not, sometimes even the smallest of things can really help push someone. And I think Himeko seeing this future of her must have helped her out a ton. I don't know, I can handle another Himeko dep. I'm gonna say this here, and this is my own thoughts and process. I don't think they're gonna kill Himeko, and let me explain. For two reasons. One, people are expecting it at this rate, so Hoyo's not gonna go do that. If people want it and they do it, people are gonna be upset. If people want it and they don't do it, people are gonna be upset. But I think they're not gonna do it. I think instead of her having a quote-unquote death, it's not going to be that. I think it's going to be more of the acceptance of oneself. Because I don't think Himeko death would be that emotional. People have been expecting this from the very start of the game. I hate to say it. Even if they successfully did it, people would be like, oh my god, they just did the fan service thing, right? So I don't think they're gonna do that. Also, I hate saying this. This is gonna sound so rude. I had to knock on wood. I hope people can understand where I'm coming from. Hoyo has been pretty safe with how they're handling deaths now. Not in a bad way, but for example, I want to look at Emphorius, where they were willing to kill off characters, right? But the thing is with that, when they at the end, when like, yeah, well, Emphorius is like, you know, being worked on again. People got upset, but people got upset when characters died. No one's gonna be happy. The thing isn't the fact that someone dies or doesn't die in a story. You don't need someone to die in a story for it to have an emotional impact on the characters or the cast or even the players themselves. What is important is to have that emotional impact be everlasting within the story and be present within the story. Having Himeko go through and seeing the things of her past versus herself in the present can be just as emotionally impactful, because we as the players will then get to see Himeko where she is now, look back at the previous story and see how she interacted then and be like, oh, maybe this connects to that, right? But also in the future, this will help us understand Himeko more. Plus, the events of the current story can also impact Himeko and her decisions and actions she does later down the line within the game. Having a character die doesn't make a story impactful. In fact, you can have a character go through a dramatic shift of personality or even go through a very traumatic experience, but instead have them be able to recover from it, but not fully, and instead realize the fact that their actions do have severe consequences, not just to themselves, but to the people around them and also to their environments. Because killing off a character doesn't mean a story is good. It just means they're willing to go ahead and just end the character's story there. But that's just my opinion. I could be terribly wrong, but I feel like it is very important, at least like for me. That's why I'm like, I'm not worried about Himeko dying or them killing Himeko. I'm more worried of how they're going to approach her character from here on out. For me, one of the games I played, what they did instead, they did kill off the character, which is like, whatever. She wasn't really that present in the story. She was only there for like 5 chapters. But it was the fact she died and the fact a character saw her die for the sake of her country, and him for the rest of the game was suffering with the death of someone he loved and cared about die in front of him, and he carried that fear of someone else is going to die if he doesn't react or do something appropriately to the situation at hand. And his little things that he did throughout the game showed the impacts of that one death of a character. Because it wasn't the fact that she died that made it impactful. It was the fact that she died and that affected a character on how they react, because that was someone in his life. That was a family member. That was a friend. That was someone that's important to him. And that death caused him to react in any way, shape, or form, where he even used weapons that were very damaging to him as a person. But he didn't care because he had to see someone die for the sake of their nation, and now he was suffering the consequence because he was now put in the position of power. He now had to see how he was going to make sure everything was fine. He had to make sure his sister was fine at the end of it as well. And I think that's a more powerful writing than having a character die. But that's just my opinion. People can have different opinions, but that's not the point of this conversation. I think whatever they do with Himeko, I don't think they're going to kill her off, but I think instead we as the players are going to be witnessing the impact of her past come to the present and how this will impact the story from here on out, in my opinion. But without further ado, thank you so much for watching. If you like, you can go ahead and check me out on Twitch. I stream almost every single day at twitch.tv/Nohr_and_T. But please share your thoughts. I'm very interested to hear them. But thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.